Okay, go ahead and check your own work here to see if you're on the right track. So I wanted to declare an array that's going to hold 100 values. So what number do I need to put in the parentheses? 99. If you want exactly 100 numbers, you will need 99 in the parentheses, because 99 will be the last index that is available in the array, and 0 through 99 is 100 values. Okay, so we put our button on here. I wanted to fill it with random values. So we'll run a for loop from 0 to numbers.length minus 1. So we need to give each number a value, right? So you use your numbers array. You have to specify what position in the array you want to give a value to. So in this case, that would be position I, because the position has to change each time in our for loop. You can go ahead and immediately add it to the list box. And then you can also go ahead and add it to the, you can also calculate how many are in the 90s then. So if the number that we're currently on is bigger than or equal to 90 and it is less than 100, here's where we need some sort of counter. And we would add 1 to that counter if we found something that was in the 90s. So then you can do a message box or whatever you want to do. So I'll try this out and then I'll put the code back up. So there's my numbers. I have 12 of them that are in the 90s. Okay, so the first procedure that we'll write is filling an array. That's the first thing you need to do. And today's a big day because today we finally reveal what the heck is the difference between these two options here. Very exciting. Okay. So here we go, by reference, so that we can change our array. You can name this array parameter whatever you want. It is an array of integers. The only difference here to signify that it is an array is going to be parentheses. Please note, the parentheses are empty. We are not going to specify any sort of size here. All right? Okay, so I'm going to take the array and I'm going to fill it. So I'm just going to, basically we're just copying the code that we had up above. And if you want to literally copy and paste it, you can. Except we're going to change it to the array. So every spot in the array is going to get a random number. And that's it. It's going to fill the array. Since it's by reference, it's going to fill the actual array that we send, and not some local array that has no effect on anything else. So next job is to print the array. Here you really, I mean, you could use by val if you wanted on the array, because we're not going to change anything. We're just going to print it. But again, in general, we're just going to use reference for arrays. So 0, and it's all the same stuff every time. And then finally, our last thing is going to be to count the numbers in the 90s, which we'll use as a function. Once again, same parameter. Since it's a function, we will need as. Since we're counting, we'll return a number. I'm just going to go up here and copy my if statement. We need our counter variable. And if you do copy and paste, be aware you need to change the reference to the array and not numbers. Now, what am I missing? Need to return what? The number of 90s. I'm going to put a couple of buttons on here. So my button 3 is going to be you choose. We're going to let the user choose how many numbers they want. Whoops. Button 4, I'm just going to make that a clear button so we can clear out our list if we need to. Alright, we'll do the clear button first. It's short and sweet. Any idea how to clear a list box? List box. Yep, items.clear. That will clear that out. Okay, so for the you choose, what I'm going to do is ask the user how many numbers they want, and they will input that number, and then we're going to make an array that size. So we'll just use an input box to pop up here. How many numbers do you want in the list? And then on the fly here, we're going to make the array itself. So some numbers. Now what am I going to put here in some numbers so that it actually has the amount of numbers that they specified? So we need to put size minus 1. If they put 5, I want 5 numbers, then you need to put 4 here as the last index. Alright, so now we're going to write 3 lines of code. I want to fill the array, print the array, and count how many 90s there are. We already have this all set up to ready to go. So I'm going to fill the array. What array do I want to fill? Some numbers. Whoops. For as integer there. I want to print the array. What array do I want to print? Some numbers. And I want to count the 90s of some numbers.